Hi, I'm Gabe. For this problem, we're asked to solve the equation x squared plus 4x minus 32 equals 0 by completing the square. So let's begin by adding 32 to both sides of the equation. So what this leaves us with is an x squared plus a 4x. Now here I'm intentionally going to leave a space, and this is equal to 32. So in order to complete the square, what we have to do is we have to consider our b term, which in this case is 4. And if we think about half of 4 is 2, we'll want to add a 2 squared to both sides of our equation. Now the reason that we want to add a 2 squared to both sides of our equation is so that this left-hand side is a perfect square. And this factors into x plus 2 quantity squared. And this is equal to 32 plus 2 squared, 32 plus 4, or 36. So from here, we can go ahead and take the square root of both sides of our equation, leaving us with an x plus 2 on the left-hand side. And this is equal to plus or minus the square root of 36, which in the next step, we will just write plus or minus 6. So like I said, we'll have x plus 2 is equal to plus or minus 6. So remember, our goal is to solve for x. So we'll try to isolate x by subtracting 2 from both sides of our equation, leaving us with x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus 6. So now, because this is pretty simple to evaluate, we have x is equal to a negative 2 plus 6, which is equal to 4, or x is equal to negative 2 minus 6, which is negative 8. So our two possible x values are x equals 4 or x equals negative 8. Thank you. Hi, my name's Gabe. For this problem, we're going to solve the equation x squared plus 4x minus 32 equals 0 by completing the square geometrically. So what we want to do is we want to first add 32 to both sides of our equation, leaving us with x squared plus 4x is equal to 32. So what we want to do here is we want to think, how can we interpret x squared, 4x, and 32 geometrically? Well, x squared we can think of as a square where both sides have measure x, so the height and the width of our square is x. 4x we can think of as a rectangle where the height is x and the width is 4. And 32 we can think about as several different ways, but right now let's just leave it as some area of 32. So what we see over here on the left-hand side is we have an x by x square with area x squared, and we have an x by 4 rectangle with area 4x. So we know that when we combine these two areas, we should have an area of 32. So what we want to do is we want to combine these two areas in somewhat of a strategic manner. So how we'll do that is we'll take our rectangle and we'll consider cutting it in half vertically. And we'll take our one rectangle and slide it right up against the right-hand side of our square, and we'll take the other rectangle and slide it up against the bottom of our square. So what we'll have now is we'll have something that looks like this. We'll have our x by x square, and to the right of our x by x square, we'll have a small rectangle with area 2x. That is, this top side is 2, and the height is x. And on the bottom, we'll have another rectangle with area 2x. And again, this length is 2, and this length is x. So we still want to think about this area being equal to 32. But what we see here is that we almost have a perfect square. So this is almost a square, if only we could fill in this small piece right here. Well, we know that this width is 2, as is this width. So what we want to add in here is we want to add in a little square of area 4. So since we added a little bit of area here, we also need to add some area to the right-hand side of our equation. So what we'll have over here is we won't just have a blob of area 32, we'll be adding a blob of area 4 to it. So we'll have some area of 36. So now what we want to notice is that this right here is a square. Think about this side being x, this side being 2. So this whole side of our square has length x plus 2. And same thing on the bottom of our square. This length is x, this length is 2. The length along the bottom is x plus 2. So now, since each of these areas have to be equal, we have x plus 2 times x plus 2 is equal to 36. So we can write that as x plus 2 quantity squared is equal to 36. And now we can solve by taking square roots, which leaves us with x plus 2 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 36, or plus or minus 6. Subtract 2 from both sides. And what we're left with is x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus 6. Now evaluating each of these, we have x is equal to negative 2 plus 6, which is equal to 4, or x is equal to negative 2 minus 6, which is equal to a negative 8. Thank you.